नहीं कोई नहीं है, अनवर सर का नाम आ रहा है, अनवर सर का नाम आ रहा है। अच्छा अच्छा ठीक। हाँ एक आया, गौरव कुमार। हाँ हाँ मैं निकालता हूँ इसको। इसको क्या करूँ, मीना मैम लिख दूँ? अच्छा पेरेंट है इसमें, तो पेरेंट है। हाँ नंदिनी भट्टाचार्य, कौन है?
हेलो,
यस मैम।
गुड इवनिंग।
गुड इवनिंग मैम।
कौन है? गुड इवनिंग सर। हाँ
मीना
चलो।
क्लास में गई एक्चुअली मैम,
हाँ
तो आप कंटिन्यू ले लीजिए, लेक्चर आ रहे हैं बच्चे।
नहीं, ये मेरा SAT-1 का क्लास है, एक ही बच्चा होगा।
ओके।
तो इसमें किसी और का क्लास चालू था क्या?
इसमें एक ही बच्चा है शायद से मैम।
हाँ अभी एक ही बच्चा है।
हाँ
जी मैडम मैं हूँ
ओके
ज्योति।
यस। हाँ गुड इवनिंग ज्योति मैम।
गुड इवनिंग मैडम।
आज कुछ गड़बड़ हो गया क्या? बहुत टाइम लग गया।
हाँ मैडम थोड़ा सा गड़बड़।
ओके ठीक है, थैंक यू। ओके गुड इवनिंग सर।
Good evening, ma'am.
Sorry, there was some problem. We got late in starting.
Yeah.
Okay. So, were you able to do the homework sessions
Yes,
that
ma'am.
I had given you?
Yes, ma'am.
So, which ones did you do?
Ma'am, the session 15 and the one before that, which was left to the.
Session 15 and the one passage of 13.
Yeah.
Okay. So, in session 13, one passage, you had any problem?
No, ma'am, that was pretty easy.
You got all the answers correct?
No, ma'am, I got 6 right and 1 wrong.
You got 6 right and 1 wrong. Okay. Which one did you get wrong?
Ma'am, the last one, like I didn't get the data correctly. That's why.
Okay. So, this was passage to number 20. Okay, there is one. Yeah. So, otherwise, you have no problem with session 13, right?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And session 15, any problem?
Ma'am, there was a little bit mistakes there.
Hmm.
I need to
So, have you written your doubts?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. Can I'm sharing the screen. Now we will go question wise
Yeah.
and solve your doubts, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, so question 1 was okay.
Yes, ma'am, it was okay.
You got your reasoning also.
Yes, ma'am.
Where it said the fossils provide paleontologists with a convenient way of estimating the age of the rock. Now, the paragraph is talking about some modern technology that is being used.
Yes, ma'am.
And it says accurate models of prehistoric fossils. These models have expanded. So if you see, there's a continuation in the paragraph as it is,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
this will not really fit in.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, question 2.
Ma'am, I got it right.
You got it right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what was your reasoning?
Ma'am, like promise also, we can say swear, like I promise you, I swear. So that's why I thought like promise should be the right one.
So wow is also promise. So
But
why
ma'am,
would you?
that was the most common, word used. Like promise is the most common one there. That's
So
why.
going with the tone of the passage, since it is formal, we would go with promise.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So number 3, any problem? You got it?
Ma'am, I went for option A here.
You went for option A.
ma'am.
So what is the right answer?
Ma'am, it says option B is the right one.
Option B is the right answer.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so now it says the writer is considering deleting the underlined sentence. Should the sentence be kept or deleted? Now you
Yes,
say
ma'am.
it is kept, but your okay, let's see what it is talking about. Whereas the head of an ordinary computer printer moves back and forth while printing ink on the paper, the corresponding part of the 3D printer moves in multiple dimensions while squirting out thin layers of melted polymer plastic. So it is talking about how the head of the computer printer works,
Yes, ma'am.
right? Now what it says before this is a 3D printer then builds the polymer model based on the blueprints such as the regular computer printer produces digital computers and paper. Yeah. So it's
Yes, ma'am.
talking about how 3D printing is done. And then it talks about the plastic hardens quickly. It allows the, so it is about the process. Now, if you delete this, there will be a gap in explaining how it works. So it
Yeah.
has to be kept. Now you say, now A says kept because it explains why X-rays are used in CT scanners. Is it talking about X-rays used in CT scanners? It's
Ma'am,
talking about 3D printer.
ma'am, but you know,
Right.
at the starting of the paragraph, it says the CT scanners use X-ray, so that's why I got confused and thought like it's talking
No,
about
but what
like,
is this particular sentence talking about?
ma'am 3D printers.
It's talking about 3D printer, and the sentence before that is also a 3D printer then builds a polymer model. Yeah.
Yes,
Now
ma'am.
CT scanners, when they say CT scanners are used, use X-ray to map the surface of a fossil in minute detail.
Yes,
Yeah, and that creates a digital blueprint. Now the 3D printer then builds a polymer model. It is making a model, and this is how it is making the model. And then it goes on to say the plastic hardens quickly. So this whole thing is about the 3D printer. So B will be your correct answer,
yes, ma'am.
right? So you have to look into the reasoning. If you don't reason out correctly, you are sure to get your answer wrong,
Yes, ma'am.
right? Okay,
Yeah.
number 4.
Ma'am, I went for option C then.
Option C. Okay, option C is correct. The plastic hardens quickly, which allows the printer. That is
Yes,
fine. Okay, number 5.
ma'am, I went for no change.
You went for no change. Okay. So do you think it was correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So it says, can Professor model of dinosaur bones, 1/10 of the bones original sizes in order to learn how they fit together in the mammals, animals, when the animals were alive. So, yeah, so in order to learn, so to do idiomatic expression over here, that is
Yes,
correct.
ma'am.
Okay, number 6 was correct.
Yes, ma'am.
Hmm?
Option C.
Option C, because it says in the past such research was limited to the weight and bulk of the fossils as well as its preciousness and fragility. Now this pronoun is referring to fossils, so it should be plural there,
Yes, ma'am.
right? Okay, number 7,
Ma'am, here I went for option D.
you went for option D.
Yes, ma'am.
D, okay. So I think D was correct,
Yes.
right? So you got the logical order.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. Okay, number 8 was right.
Ma'am, for example, like D, yeah,
Hmm?
for example. Yes, ma'am.
For example, right. Okay, number 9.
Rely, option B.
Hmm. Okay, 10. Combining the sentence.
Ma'am went for option A.
You went for option A.
Yes, ma'am.
So was it correct
No, ma'am.
or was it wrong?
Wrong.
Wrong, right?
Yeah.
Okay, why was it wrong?
Ma'am, I didn't read the sentence properly, so I forgot there was a semicolon there.
Okay, now apart from the semicolon, anything
And
else?
even after that, there was a comma just after semicolon.
Anything else you found wrong in it? It is not concise,
Yeah.
right? So this says the fossil could not be removed from the rock on account of it being too delicate. Moreover, the team dug up the block of stone around it and brought it to their lab. Now, if you see, the semicolon over here is not wrong, but what is the sentence that they have given you? The fossil was too delicate to be removed from the rock. Because of the fossil's delicate nature, the team dug up a block of stone around the fossil and brought it to their lab. So,
Yeah.
what is the relationship between the two sentences?
Ma'am, that the fossil is very delicate and it's
And
hard to
because
remove it from
so
the.
so it is so there's a cause effect relationship over here,
Yes.
right? Because it is delicate, it had to be they had to dig up a whole
Rock.
a rock to take it out, right? But here it
Yeah.
says moreover. Does it bring out the same relationship that is there in this sentence, in the two sentences?
No, ma'am.
No, right? So that
Yeah.
is wrong over here,
Yeah.
right? So it does not bring about. First of all, it says the fossil could not be removed from the rock on account of it being too delicate. Moreover, the team dug up the rock. So now whatever sentence that whatever option you choose when combining a sentence, it should have the same meaning as the given sentences.
Yes, ma'am.
Here, what is happening? The meaning is changing. Yeah.
Yes.
Now, if you look at B and now if you look at B, there again it is not correct. It says the team thought the fossil was too delicate. Now, team thought, it wasn't that the team thought the fossil was delicate,
Yeah.
right? So B
Yes.
also is wrong. Now, if you look at C, the fossil was too delicate to be removed from the rock. So the team dug up the block of stone around the fossil and brought it to the lab. I think this is giving us that same relationship, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So C could be our answer. Let's look at D. In removing the fossil from the rock, comma, the team found it was too delicate. Then they dug up a block of stone. Now this is a little redundant. Yeah. And
Yes.
besides, it begins with then. It doesn't give us the exact relationship between the sentences. So D will not be your answer. C will be the answer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
it's very important to bring out the relationship between the sentences or the parts of the sentences when you are combining,
Yes, ma'am.
right? The meaning should not change.
Yes.
Okay, number 11 was okay.
Yes, ma'am. It was okay.
Okay. One had found. Now, who was the one? We don't know. It's referring to the researchers that they had found,
Yes.
right? Okay. So number 12.
Ma'am, it was also fine.
Okay. 13 you got correct.
Yes, ma'am.
14.
14. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you chose D.
For 14. Yes, ma'am.
4.
I chose.
Okay.
D.
So why did you choose D?
Ma'am, I thought it was the most concise one there.
Concise one, right? Okay. Number 15.
Ma'am, option C.
So it brought out the contrasting relationship. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Scientific evidence, however, suggests. Okay. Okay. Now 16.
Ma'am, maintain.
Maintain. Okay. 17 you got.
Ma'am, for 17, I went like for option B. However,
Oh, option B, however.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
how no, however would mean that there would be a contrasting relationship.
Oh,
Yeah. So now
yes,
if
ma'am.
you if you see, this is the beginning of a sentence, so there has to be a relationship with the previous sentence,
Yes,
right? So when you read the previous sentence, although advocates of organic food preserve that organic, so it would be maintained that organic produce is healthier than conventionally grown produce because it has more vitamins and minerals. This assertion is not supported by scientific research, right?
yes,
So it says not supported by scientific research. Now here it says, for instance, one review published. So now what is this sentence doing? It is giving us certain examples. The American Journal of Clinical Nutrition provided analysis of the results of comparative studies conducted over a span of 50 years. Then researchers consistently found no. So this is giving us some examples to support this point that it is not supported by scientific research.
yes,
Yeah. So however will be wrong in this case. It will be
okay,
no change,
yes, ma'am.
right? Okay. So I think you are getting a little bit confused when it comes to relationship between sentences,
Yeah.
right? Because even the previous mistakes that you did, it was about relationship between sentences. Okay, number 18, did you get?
Number
Or did you
18, ma'am, I was confused between
hmm,
C and D.
confused between C and D? So now your question says the writer is considering adding the sentence. Now
Yeah,
clearly you have you got to the conclusion that you don't need the sentence,
yeah,
right? Now
yes, ma'am.
coming to why you don't need the sentence, you were a little confused. So which one did you go with, C or D?
Ma'am, I went for C there actually,
Okay,
but
you
still
went,
it was like
yeah,
50-50. I could have also gone
okay,
D there.
you could have also gone with D. Okay, now here the sentence says the United States Department of Agriculture reports that organic agricultural products are now available in approximately 20,000 markets specializing in natural foods. So, and what is this sentence saying? So, the previous sentence was about the different examples of this organic food not being supported by scientific research,
Yes, ma'am.
right? And then it says, similarly, Stanford University researchers who examined almost 250 studies comparing the nutrition contents of different kinds of organic food with that of the non-organic found very little difference between the two. So even the next sentence is about the research,
Yes, ma'am.
right? And
Yeah,
why organic food will not be supported. Now,
yes, ma'am.
adding this sentence over here, now the United States Department of Agriculture reported organic agricultural products are now available in so many markets. Now, this make sense uh, between these two sentences?
No, ma'am.
Doesn't say, yeah. So if it was talking about some research and a finding that the organic food is not superior, it would have made sense.
Yeah,
So now between C and D, C says no because it is not relevant to the paragraph destruction of scientific evidence,
yeah,
and D says no because it introduces a term that has not been defined in the passage. So now why did you reject this sentence?
which one, ma'am?
Why did you think that this sentence should not be added?
Ma'am, this was
If you
breaking the
don't,
flow in the paragraph.
right, because it was not in accordance with what was being discussed,
Yes, ma'am.
right? So then according to that, you will go with C,
Yeah,
not relevant to the paragraph discussion.
yes, ma'am.
So it is not because it is introducing a new term or which has not been defined, but just that it is not in accordance with what is being discussed,
Yes, ma'am.
right?
Yeah.
So your
So,
reasoning
ma'am,
now, here, if you see, now when you read this and you read the sentence, something came to your mind first that this
yes,
should not be there, why it should not be there.
yeah.
So you will be searching for that reason in the options,
Okay, ma'am.
right? So if you said that it is disturbing the flow, it is not relevant, something of that sort came to your mind. So C will be your answer, obviously,
Okay.
right? Okay.
Yeah.
Now in between 1920, any problem?
Ma'am, no.
Hmm?
No. Ma'am, no. No.
In
Uh,
20, you got it correct?
Ma'am, it was very confusing, but somehow I got it right.
Okay,
I
so
get confused in these types of sentence, like in these
right.
questions quite a lot.
So that is where you have to analyze. These are more analytical than the normal grammar questions.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is at 20. Let's see your, okay. So what was did you write down your,
Reasoning.
why you, yeah, did you write your reasoning?
Ma'am, I went for like option C because I thought it was the most concise and it was grammatically correct.
Okay.
Like that's how, and it would fit the sentence, the tone of sentence. That's what I thought. That's what
Okay.
I've written.
Now in all these sentences, all these type of sentences, like here this at this point, the writer wants to further reinforce the paragraph's claim, and he wants to add one particular sentence. Now, which choice would most effectively accomplish this goal, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, one thing you have to remember that whatever sentence you pick up, it has to be a continuation of what has been said uh, of
Last.
the thought that has been
Yeah.
discussed earlier than this. So if you see this, it is a concluding sentence of the paragraph,
Yes, ma'am.
right? Now, what should you see in the concluding sentence of the paragraph?
Ma'am, the last thing, like how it
So
should be.
it should first of all, it should follow from what has been said in the passage, plus it should also set up the point in the next paragraph,
Yes, ma'am.
right? So
Yeah.
in this case, if you see, the paragraph is about evidence also undermines the claim that organic food is safer to eat. It's talking about organic food safer to eat. So it is more or less a summary or concluding statement of the entire paragraph.
Yes,
So the whatever points have been brought up in the paragraph, it should be in accordance to that. So while researchers have found lower levels of pesticide residue in organic produce than in non-organic produce, the pesticide residue detected in conventional produce falls within acceptable safety limits. Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
talking about pesticide also. According to such organizations as the US Environment Protection Agency, the minute amounts of residue falling within such limits have no negative impact on the human health. So this is entire paragraph is talking about the safety and the pesticide levels,
Yes, ma'am.
right? So when now something a sentence that will be after this. Now, if you look at the next paragraph, it says based on scientific evidence, organic food offers neither significant nutritional nor safety benefits for consumers.
Yes.
So this is also about the nutrition and safety. Yeah.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
now if we look at the options given, A says to be labeled organic, a product must meet certain standards determined by and monitored by the US Agriculture Department. Now this clearly does not follow from whatever has been said. It is not a concluding point
That's not,
of
yeah.
the paragraph.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, B says organic food, however, is regulated to eliminate artificial ingredients. So now there's also a connecting word. You have to look at these connecting words and the relationship. Organic food, however, is regulated to eliminate artificial ingredients that include certain types of preservatives, sweeteners. So here it is talking about specifically what are the artificial ingredients,
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
So
Yeah.
that is also not what this
We need.
paragraph is talking about.
Yes,
We
ma'am.
don't need this. Now, C says, moreover, consumers who are concerned about ingesting pesticide residue can eliminate much of it by simply washing or peeling produce before eating it. So now this was talking about the concern regarding pesticides. and they said that the residue it falls within such limits have no negative impact on human health. So if you look at this, have no negative impact on human health. Now taking this as a clue, the next sentence should be something that follows from here also connect. There should be a connection. Now,
Yes, ma'am.
it had no negative impacts. Then it says that moreover, consumers who are concerned about ingesting pesticides. So though it has no negative impact, but still those consumers who are concerned about pesticides and can eliminate by washing. So this could be an answer,
Yeah.
right? We don't eliminate C, but we look at D also. In fact, Environmental Protection Agency estimates about 1/5 of the pesticides used worldwide are applied to crops in the United States. Now, this also doesn't really connect to the points in the paragraph, right? So
Yes, ma'am.
C will be your answer. So C is also talking about the safety concerns of the consumers, and it follows from what the U.S. Protection Agency said about no negative impact on human health,
Yes,
right?
ma'am. Yeah.
Okay. What happened? You're also having a cold?
Yeah, ma'am. Just like I got viral a few 3 days ago.
Okay, yeah, viral is happening.
Yeah.
And it takes a long time. Okay. So now, okay, now tell me, did you mark your timing?
No, ma'am. I forgot about the
You
timing.
forgot about the timing.
Yeah. But I think like I did this whole passage in like around 25 minutes. I think like 25 minutes.
25 minutes for the entire session, all the passages, or just one passage?
Ma'am, all the passage.
All the
three.
passages.
Yeah.
Okay. Now this session had how many passages?
Ma'am, I 33 questions. Sorry.
333 questions, 3 passages. 3 passages, if you take about 8 to 9 minutes per passage, okay, 22 to 25 minutes is not bad. But yes, you have to be able to time yourself.
Yeah. I'll
Okay,
make
now,
sure from next time.
yeah. Okay, now coming to the last passage here, what did you get wrong in this?
Ma'am, I think like I got the 24th one wrong due to silly mistake of me not
20.
checking the options properly here.
Okay, so you got a little confused. You didn't look at the
Option B, I
colon
didn't look at the
and-
option B properly. Like I thought, yeah, it was fine. But then I went to the answers and like had a check there. So I saw that it was a semicolon and after that a dash there. And C was the one which
Okay,
had
so
put the dashes there.
okay. Now here you had the designer envisions the game's fundamental elements, the settings, the characters, the plots that make each game unique, and is thus a primary creative force. Now, if you see here, there's a colon in the middle of the sentence.
Yeah.
Now, the what is the rule for colons? It should be towards the end of now. There is a list after that, but the sentence continues.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can't use a colon over here. So either you would use 2 commas or 2 dashes,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So semicolon would be wrong, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And 1 colon, 1 colon and 1 dash will also be wrong.
Wrong.
So 2 dashes would be separating this extra information in the middle of the sentence,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. You have to remember your punctuations. And this is this was quite obvious. A colon in the middle means the purpose of the colon you had to see. And there was a comma also after that and a comma after that. So that would have made you think that, okay, what are the punctuations that are being used?
Yes,
Okay, number 25 was okay?
yes, ma'am, that was fine. Yes, ma'am, that was fine.
So why did you choose? So you chose what? B over here?
Yes, ma'am. B.
Okay, why did you choose B?
Ma'am, like after the you know, in this sentence, if you read like video games,
Hmm.
designers, then job,
Hmm.
and that after that, however, and no matter how. So like after however, I thought it was a new sentence starting, like no matter
Hmm.
how good a
So
concept is.
this was the case of a run-on sentence, a long sentence with no with improper punctuation.
Yes,
Yeah, so you would have the only option which would be correct was full stop and no.
yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, number 26 is okay.
Yes, ma'am.
You got
Yes.
your reasoning correct.
Ma'am, I was like in the starting, I was confused between C and D, but after that, I read it again. Then I realized that option D was the best one there.
Okay. Okay. Any other you had any doubt?
In any other, ma'am, I think
27,
I went
28,
in the 33rd one.
33. Okay. Hmm.
So like the sentence 5 was there.
Hmm. Hmm.
I got a confused little bit there. So like
Okay. So, so did you get the correct answer ultimately?
no, ma'am.
No. Okay. Let's see.
I
So
went
it
for
says
deleted paragraph.
sentence 5
Yeah.
should delete. You went with deleted from the paragraph.
Yeah, and I was confused, like, should it be placed before sentence one, or I should actually remove it from the sentence? Because
Okay. So first we read what sentence 5 is,
yeah,
and then we read that it's a rather big paragraph. So you would have got a little confused scrolling up and down also. So
yes,
if you just read the particular sentence, it says a designer also needs careful educational preparation.
yeah,
Yeah. And the next sentence is finally, because a designer should understand the business aspects of the video game. So now if we go back to the paragraph, now we have to first understand the structure of the paragraph. Yeah.
yes, ma'am.
The sentences as they are, what are they trying to tell you? What is the main point of the paragraph?
Yeah,
That you have to determine. So reading the paragraph is important over here.
yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So what was this paragraph about?
ma'am. This paragraph was about like basic, you know, understanding of computers and like general
So it's
process.
talking about what the designers require.
Yeah, ma'am. The
Yeah.
general thing for
So if you
design,
look at
computer design.
the previous paragraph, in
Yeah,
addition, because video game development is a collaborative effort, because such development is of any one game may take months or even years, designer must be an effective team player as well as detail oriented. So it's talking
yes,
about designing video games. Yeah.
yeah,
So in designing video games, basic understanding of computer programming is essential,
yes, ma'am.
right? This
Yeah,
is one point here. Then it says, in fact, many designers initially begin their pursuits as programmers.
yeah,
Now, if you look at this, in fact, many designers initially begin their pursuit as programmers. So you have an option here. It says where it is now placed before
whole sentence.
sentence 1, placed after sentence 3, or
Yeah,
deleted.
did.
Now, sentence 1 says basic understanding of computer programming is essential,
Yeah,
right?
yes, ma'am.
Now, and the rest of it is initially some begin their pursuit as programmers, consider taking some general computer science courses as well as courses. So this is what they need to do. Yeah, taking up
Yes,
some
ma'am.
courses, then courses in psychology and human behavior.
Yeah,
Yeah, why
yeah,
that is required. And then 5 says the designer also needs careful educational preparation. So this is talking about educational preparation. And then finally, because the designer should understand the business aspects of a video game industry, also budgeting, some business courses. So it is the entire paragraph is about what the computer game designer should be knowing or learning.
yes,
So now if you look at this sentence, the educational preparation, It can go as the introductory sentence of the paragraph over here,
Yeah, ma'am. I think it could have
right?
gone like introductory or
So something it is talking about the designer needs careful education preparation. So that is the main point of the entire paragraph if you look at it,
yes, ma'am.
right? So
Yeah.
if that is they need, what do they need? They need certain education preparation, and then the entire whole paragraph goes on to enumerate the different types of courses and the different skill sets that the designer would require,
Yes, ma'am.
right? So it will be
Yeah.
placed before sentence 1,
Yes, ma'am.
right?
Yeah. So like
So what were you thinking with this question?
at that moment I was thinking like it might disturb the flow like in the paragraph. That's what.
So you have to look at the options that are given to you and place it in those places. Now, if you place it after sentence 3, if you look at sentence 3, consider taking some general computer courses. Now, initially begin the project program, that taking consider course, then it goes on to courses in psychology. So if you place it after 3 also, it doesn't make sense.
Yes, ma'am.
Similarly, it disturbs the flow if you put it after where it is now. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So the yeah. So reading the content of the sentence and reading the content of the entire paragraph. This is more or less the topic sentence of the paragraph,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, ma'am.
So now you understood. So basically, you are going wrong with either the sentence addition or deleting sentences and the placing the sentence placement questions,
Yeah.
right?
Ma'am, but these paras were actually easy, like for the word
Hmm.
meaning type.
Hmm.
So that's why it wasn't hard like here in
Hmm.
this one. Or sometimes it actually gets a little bit tricky, like choosing options because I don't know the word meanings.
No, see, when you're talking about the word meaning, like
Yeah.
say number 31, this is a word meaning one,
Yeah.
right? Now, you have emphatic over here.
Empathetic,
Now,
yeah.
maybe you don't know the meaning of emphatic or how it is supposed to be used,
Yeah.
right? So what do? You are going to be reading the paragraph or reading the sentence,
Yes, ma'am.
right? Now,
Yeah.
emphatic, if you see, you can figure out what emphatic means. Something
Yeah.
to do with emphasis,
Yeah.
right?
Which is
Now,
something important.
courses in psychology and human behavior may help you develop emphatic collaboration skills,
Yeah.
while courses in humanities such as literature and should be give you the background. So it's talking about developing collaborative skills, and these collaborative skills would be something like something important
Yeah.
instead of emphatic,
Yes, ma'am.
right? So paramount is also important. You have important over here, so it will be important. Now paramount is something which is most important.
Yes.
Yeah, but we don't require most important. We require just important. So D is your answer. So
Yeah.
you just have to look at the if say you don't really know the meaning of this word properly, so you read the sentence with a blank.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
courses in
Yeah.
psychology and human behavior may help you develop dash collaborative skills, while courses in humanities such as literature and should give you the background necessary to develop effective narrative structures. Yeah, so necessary to develop emphatic here, develop dash collaborative skills. So something to do with crucial or important. So
Yes,
you
ma'am.
will be looking for your word accordingly,
Yeah.
right?
Ma'am,
Okay.
just a moment.
Hmm.
Mm,
Okay. So now write down your the questions that you are going wrong and why you are going wrong in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you are doing the next next set of questions or the next passages, or even in your mock test, you know that you are, you know where you would be going wrong, and you will be a little more careful.
Like,
you-
ma'am,
Hmm.
in like the reading one which I was doing, like in the session 7
Hmm.
and the question 10, I got confused. Like there was meaning like as used in line 75 expanded, what most clearly means, and the options were given
Okay, in the
employed.
reading, huh?
Yeah, reading,
Hmm.
and the options were given employed, dispend, consumed, and spent. And like I went for spend there, but the
Hmm.
option was dispend. So like I don't know why the like spend
Okay,
was
your
wrong.
what was your sentence again? Can you repeat it?
Ma'am, as used in the line 75. So
Hmm. So what was said in line 75?
just when expanded on Earth, the sea and elements of the riches and forces of nature. Wait,
Hmm.
where is it? Yeah.
Just a second.
The very pioneers of civilization,
Huh.
when
Hmm.
expanded on Earth, the sea,
Right.
the elements, the riches
Hmm.
and forces of nature are powers of destruction when used to subjugate one man to another or to sacrifice nations to ambition.
Hmm.
This
So
was the
here, what is the word that they are telling you to find the meaning?
man expanded.
Expended. Now, expended on the earth, right?
Yeah.
So when you say expended on the earth, it is not just sent. It is like released. A huge force is released on the earth to
Okay.
bring about destruction. That's what the sentence is talking about,
Uh,
right? So it is not just send. You are not just sending. Sending becomes too mild. Here it
okay.
is something which is forced upon earth or thrown upon earth, which is causing destruction. So it will
Okay.
be bespent on earth. And if you also go by the style of writing of the passage, it is a little old style of writing,
Yeah.
right? So going with the language already used, bespend will be the right word.
Okay. So like in this one, I have to be
Hmm.
a bit more careful, right?
Right. You have to see if the word is used, it is not just now you will always get in your options, you will always get words which mean the same. But you have to look at the tone of the passage, the style of writing, and see which one fits in.
Okay, ma'am.
It's not just the meaning, but also what should fit in,
Okay, ma'am.
right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so now today I think we'll do session 16,
Yeah.
right? So now in session 16, passage 1 has 11 questions, right?
Yeah.
So what I'll do is I will mark your timing,
Okay.
right? So now I will give you 8 minutes,
8 minutes. Okay.
yeah? 8
Yeah.
minutes for 11 questions,
Okay, ma'am.
yeah? So
Yes.
here is your questions 1 to 11, passage 1.
Yeah.
You will finish this in 8 minutes. So
Okay.
take a deep breath and begin. Now you can do the grammar questions first. You
Yeah.
can, now when you are doing the passage, one thing you can do is you can just go through the passage to just figure out what it is about.
Okay, ma'am.
Say about 30 seconds or so. Just go through the passage and figure out what it is about.
Yeah.
And you can mark whatever comes to your mind and then go on to the questions.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am,
Okay,
can
you
you
may
just
begin.
give me a minute before starting it?
Can I give?
A minute, just a minute.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
So get your pencil ready, get your book.
Yeah, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Just a moment.
Okay, so are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
You can keep your video on if there's no problem.
Yeah.
Mm.
Um, wait. Yeah.
Okay, you can begin. I'll start the timer for you.
Okay.
So we can figure out how much time you are taking.
Now I'm done.
Done? Okay,
Yeah.
great. So you completed in about 7 minutes only. And this is in 6 minutes. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
So that was good. So let's look at the answers then. Okay, number 1. What's your answer? You can unmute yourself.
Option A.
Option A, no change.
Yeah.
Okay, I must say this is wrong. Now it says the previous sentence is talking about stubborn pictures on Thomas Nast, an artist who had become famous for cartoons called for reform to end corruption.
Yeah.
As a result, Tweed's attempt to silence the artist failed. Now, is it this? Now, as a result, would be a cause-effect relationship?
Yeah.
Do we have that relationship between these two sentences?
No.
No, right? So just Tweed's attempt to silence would be fine. So we just delete the
Okay.
portion. So D will be your answer over here.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, number 2.
Ma'am, I think I will here option D maybe.
What did you mark?
Ma'am, D.
You marked D. Okay.
Yeah.
So why did you go with D?
I thought it was the most, or
So you had to
perfect.
combine the two sentences,
Yeah.
right? The sentences were now when you are combining the two sentences, A, it should be grammatically correct.
Yes.
B, it should
Concise.
give you, it should be concise. And C, it should have the same meaning as the given sentences.
Yeah.
Meaning should not be distorted. Now, if you look
Yes.
at the other options, powerful organizations, now the focus changes. In A, here if you say there were powerful political organizations, 80s and 90s, organizations were known as political machines and started taking control of the city governments. So
Yeah.
the focus is that these were the organizations and they took control over the city governments. If
Yeah.
you look at this one, powerful political organizations in 80s and 70s started taking control of city governments and they were known as political machines. So a
Yes.
little lengthy and the focus changes, right?
Yeah.
Now B, known as political machines in the 80s and 90s, this is sort of the structure of the sentence is also wrong. Comma,
Yes,
political
ma'am.
organizations that were powerful started taking control of city governments. So the whole focus changes and it is not concise.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, if you look at C, city governments were taken control of. Now, this is a passive voice.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we will not go with this. In 80s and 90s, powerful political organizations known as political machines started taking control of city governments. So this is correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Political machines. Okay. Okay, number 3.
Ma'am, no change.
That was very easy. No
Yeah.
change.
Yeah.
Number 3. Yeah, number 3 will be no change because we don't need anything, a form
Yes.
of election fraud.
Ma'am,
that-
it's already there, so all of this
Right.
would be like
So it
breaking.
is already explaining the concept and punctuation is also correct.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, number 4.
Number 4, ma'am. Option B.
B.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Why did you go with B?
Ma'am, because there's a line there, and after that a comma is there. So instead, I would just go with the comma and comma there.
So
To make it actually.
why did you go with just comma and comma? There's a dash over here. Do we
Yeah.
need the dash? Do we not need the dash? So
Ma'am, not
if you
need.
read the sentence,
It's an actually
what
important
tweet?
information there.
Yeah. तन्मय तमन्नी Hall Group,
Tammany Hall.
which
Yeah.
controlled New York City in the 80s. Now, which controlled New York City in the 80s? That is an extra information.
Yes, ma'am.
So there's a comma here. You need a comma here. You either it should be both dashes or both comma,
Comma.
right?
Yeah.
So stole more than so much million. So which control New York information? That is an extra information,
Yes, ma'am.
and you need a comma.
Yeah.
Okay, number 5, deleting a sentence.
Ma'am, I was confused in C and D there,
Hmm.
but
So
I went for C mostly.
you went with C. Okay.
Yeah.
So
But
now
it was very much confusing there, like both
so
of them near.
one thing was you determined that it is not required.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you thought it is not required, why did you think so?
Ma'am, this information was actually not needed there.
Not needed. Yeah. So now when you say this information is not needed, it is irrelevant where in this particular context. So would you, C says it blurs the focus of the paragraph by introducing loosely related information.
Yeah.
So it is unnecessary,
Yeah.
right? D says because it contains information that undermines the main claim of the passage. So is it giving you some information which is undermining the point that is already being said?
Yeah.
It's not doing that, yeah? It's not giving any contrasting information or any information that is that would overpower what has already been said.
Yes.
Yeah? So your main concern was that it is not required. So C would be your answer and not D, right? Okay, now number 6. I think this was easy.
Yes, ma'am. Option C.
Option C. So you had this that and there was a comma before after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, corrupt that the. So the rule is, was the rule with that?
Ma'am, you have to use a comma before.
Hmm?
No. 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 Okay.
What's the rule of commas with that?
Ma'am, you need to use a.
Never use a comma before or after that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Wait.
whenever you have a that and you have a comma, you know that that comma has to
Yeah.
be removed. So you go with C because all the others have commas.
Comma.
And
Yeah.
if you look at D, it doesn't have a comma with that,
But it has after times.
the comma here is misplaced.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Number 7.
Ma'am, I went for here option B, like famous and well-known images showed by.
Famous and well known.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what is the problem here? One of the artist's most famous images showed tweed with a bag of money in place of his head. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was a famous image. Now, if you look at the options, there is no change. Famous and well known, famous and commonly known, famous, commonly known. Now, if you look at this, it says famous images.
Yeah.
Now, famous and well known,
Yes.
famous and well known both mean the same.
Oh, yeah.
So it would be just a repetition. And famous and commonly known doesn't really make sense.
That is.
Yeah, well known is okay, but not commonly known. Or famous, comma, commonly known is also wrong. So you
Yeah.
go with no change because that is concise.
Yeah.
Yeah, famous and well known is just a repetition.
Yes.
So you will not go with B,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, number 8. It says, which choice adds the most relevant supporting information to the paragraph? So what do you add over
I
here?
went with D because I think that was the most grammatically
You went
correct.
with D.
Yeah, and like
Okay.
when I read the passage, it also said
So
that the head was.
Yeah, so it says the famous user with a bag of money in place of his head.
Yeah.
An image that perfectly captured Tweed's greedy nature. Yeah, so that is the, it says what is that information about, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you look at A, head, like many other narcissist cartoonists, and one was published now, that doesn't really make sense.
No, no.
Yeah, it is not in accordance with the context.
Yes.
Head, semicolon, Nas would later illustrate Tweed's escape from prison. Now, Tweed's escape from prison is not related to this particular
Yes.
cartoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Head one, depiction that omits Tweed's signature hat. Now that is also not, this is the most relevant. So it is about supporting information to the paragraph. So it should
Yes.
be relevant to the particular sentence and paragraph. Now the other one, the next sentence is another featured Tweed leaning against a ballot box with a caption, as long as I count the votes, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
So these are the two aspects of Tweed,
Yes.
right? Okay.
Sure.
So number 9.
Now I went for prosecuted on, and I don't
Hmm.
like remember the meaning of like prosecuted. So like, could
Hmm.
you tell me what does that mean actually?
Okay, prosecuted is charged for a crime. You can write it down.
Yeah, I know that
Yeah,
prosecuted. What about
prosecuted is charged for a crime, and
yeah?
persecuted would be harassed but not charged.
Okay,
So he is persecuted means he has been named in something,
but
or
hasn't been charged.
he is being harassed for something he has done, but he is
Yeah.
not charged for it. No FIR has been registered.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So persecuted with and persecuted on, both of them are not relevant to the sentence here. It says eventually Tweed and his gang were dash for a number of charges. So they were prosecuted for a number of charges, not persecuted,
Yes, persecuted. Yes, ma'am.
right?
Yeah.
So it is persecuted on.
Okay. Ma'am.
Okay, number 10,
Number 10, ma'am, no change.
no change. So why did you go with no change?
Ma'am, like the only one which was most right about after no change was has brought. But if I add that
Hmm.
has brought, it would make the sentence larger.
So you needed a past tense, and this was a simple past tense.
Yeah.
So Tweed escaped from jail and fled to Spain and unwittingly brought about one final pinnacle further. So
Okay.
has is now present tense.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So you needed a past tense. Bringing, brings, those were not relevant. So no change. Okay. So number 11.
Ma'am, triumph.
Hmm?
B.
Triumph. So one final pinnacle for the power of political cartoons. The
Yeah.
pinnacle would mean
At the
the
top.
culmination at the top. So it
Yes,
is
ma'am.
not he brought about one more act of victory, right? So triumph would be going in, not culmination or epic. Culmination, epics mean the same
Yeah.
as pinnacle,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now I think your timing is pretty good. And more or less, so how many answers did you get wrong over here?
Ma'am, the first one. Ma'am, 2.
You got 2 wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you were a little confused, but you got your answers right with the sentence correction, sentence combination, and the deleting sentence, etc.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? So I think you are getting a hold of it. So now you can do the next passage. I will time you again,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, ma'am.
So this time, how much time do you want to go with?
Ma'am, the same like 6 to 7 minutes.
7 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, you may begin.
I'm done.
Done?
Yeah.
No, you still have 3.5 minutes. That's pretty good speed. Okay, now let's get to the yes, I think you took less time than me also. Okay. So now getting to the answers. Number 12, what's your answer?
Ma'am, I went here for like no change.
No change. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's correct. Because you needed himself, themselves, their selves, oneself are all wrong because
Wrong.
themselves would be correct.
Correct.
You need the plural one. Okay, number 13.
Ma'am, option C, because that was
Option
the
C.
only one right there.
Yeah, which made sense in this. Despite
Yes,
having
ma'am.
worked for railroad, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Okay, number 14. Here you had in fact two corrections in this sentence. Okay, 14 would be
Ma'am, option D. I think.
option D. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you remove the he, put a comma
And
here.
comma there. Yeah.
Okay, number 15.
Were unique for there. Ma'am, B.
B, were
B.
unique. Yeah, so it
Yeah.
would be not. It's talking about the
Harvey
Harvey
houses.
houses. So it
Yeah.
would be were unique.
Unique.
Okay, number 16.
Ma'am, abysmal. C.
Abysmal sea. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it says according to the tone of the passage.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what is this talking about? Menu was modeled after those of fine restaurants. So the food was leagues beyond the sinister fare travelers were accustomed to. So the horrible food it is talking about, the abysmal would give you
Yeah.
the.
So, ma'am, does that surely and icky also mean the same like abysmal?
Yeah, surly and icky would be a little informal language slang
Oh,
to
okay.
talk about the food. Yeah,
Okay.
it was surly food, that is it is horrible, or icky, that is you don't like it. Yeah. So, but here that is specifically talking about the food. So
Yeah.
sinister would not be talking about food.
Good.
Sinister would be a situation, but not really food.
Okay.
Okay, number 17. What's your answer?
Ma'am, I went for D1.
You went for D.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see what it is say. Consider deleting the previous sentence should the writer make this change. Right? So the previous sentence is here, this one. His restaurants were immediately successful, but Harvey was not content to follow conventional business practices.
Yes. Yeah.
Although women did not traditionally work in restaurants, Harvey decided to employ women as wait staff. So this is like sentence 2 follows from sentence 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. So some unconventional business practices he looked at and employed women. So we don't need to delete it. Now why?
Yes, ma'am.
D says no because it provides a specific example in support of arguments made elsewhere. Does it give an example?
No. Yeah.
And C says no because it provides a logical introduction to the paragraph.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you okay now when we are talking about 17, which sentence were you looking at?
Ma'am, I was looking at this one, but after that, after like reading option D, I went and saw that 18th one, that the response were actually
Okay.
tremendous and also like I thought it would be, provide a
So
support there.
you have to be a little careful,
Okay.
right? Okay.
Yeah.
Now 18.1 is sentence structure. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So
Ma'am,
response to the advertising was overwhelming, even tremendous.
yeah. Ma'am, I went for
Comma
B.
and Harvey soon replaced. So you went with
B.
D or B?
B. B.
B. Huh. So response to the advertisement was
Overwhelming.
overwhelming. Yeah. Now overwhelming and tremendous mean the same thing.
Same. Yeah.
So you would be deleting even tremendous and it would become concise.
Sorry,
If you look at the others, overwhelming and even tremendous, what the
tremendous is
response, that
always
is
there.
structure is also wrong. There was an overwhelming, even tremendous response. Now, this is wrong here. It is still using even tremendous. So
Yes.
basically, you want to remove even tremendous. So B is the only option.
Yeah.
Okay, number 19. What's your answer?
D.
Hmm?
D.
You went with D. Why did you go with D?
Ma'am, it was the most grammatically correct there, according to me, and it also matched the sentence there.
Hmm. So what was wrong in this the sentence that was given to you?
Ma'am, it didn't specify who helped.
Right. So the who is not specified.
Yeah.
So the pronoun is missing. So
Yes,
they
ma'am.
brings in the clarity.
Right.
Right. Okay, number 20.
Ma'am, C1.
C. Okay.
Yeah.
Now your question here was which choice most logically follows the previous sentence? Yeah. So the
Yes, ma'am.
previous sentence is in return for the server's work, the position paid quite well for the time, colon, uh,
$17.50 a month.
$50 a month plus trips, meals. So it is giving you a list of things that the servers got.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now we have to choose a sentence that follows this. Now growth of harvest mixes coincided with, so that doesn't really bring out follow from what has been said in the previous sentence.
Yes, ma'am.
Harvey would end up opening dozens of restaurants. That is also not relevant. These benefits, now these benefits, that would be correct because this was talking about the benefits. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Now the composition was considered excellent at the time, though it may not seem much money by today's standards. That also
ma'am.
could be, but C is more relevant. Enable the Harvey girls to save money and build new and exciting lives for themselves in the West, so-called Wild West. So
Yeah.
C would be the correct answer.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, number 21.
Ma'am, D.
Hmm?
D.
D?
D.
D. Okay. Why would you go with D? Now, this is a punctuation problem over here. We have a
Yeah.
semicolon. Now, if you have a semicolon, both parts of the sentence should be independent.
Independent clauses.
So, but in this case, what is happening? Living independently and demonstrating an intense work ethic, that is a dependent clause.
Dependent clause.
Yeah, so we will not have semicolon, we'll have a comma. Okay, number 22.
Ma'am, option B.
Option B.
B. Yeah.
Okay, let's see. It says the writer is considering revising the underlined portion of the sentence to read West inspiring books, documentaries, and even a musical. Should the writer add this information here? So this is about, I think we had done this somewhere, no? Okay, Harvey girls, okay, we had done it in the session of when we were talking about examples. Here it was, Harvey girls became known as a transformative force in the American West, and this gives you some examples of how did they become inspiring.
Yes.
Right? So now you said B, yes, because it serves as a transition point in the paragraph. Does it serve as a transition point? Or would you say that because it provides examples?
Some examples.
What is it's giving you examples, yeah? Inspiring books, documentaries, even a musical. So A will be your answer. You have to be a little careful when you are analyzing.
Yes, ma'am.
So in a hurry, now these are the questions which take a little more time. Yeah. So now
Yes,
if you
ma'am.
see, you are completing the passage in less than 6 minutes. Yeah.
Yes,
And in a hurry, you are missing out on some point somewhere. Right?
Yeah.
So you take a little more time in these type of questions so that you don't get them wrong.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? So now in this particular passage, how many did you get wrong? That
I
was
think
one.
2, 3, 3. I think.
Which other one did you get wrong? You got
Uh-huh.
abysmal right.
Yeah.
You got 12, 13, 14 you got right. 15 also you got right.
I think the 18th one was wrong.
17 I think you got wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
17 and 18. I
Yeah,
think.
17 and 18 you got wrong. So I think the main problem here was that you did not analyze properly. You were in a hurry and missed out the answer,
Yeah, I think
right?
so. Yeah.
So now you can safely take about 7 to 8 minutes for a passage. 7 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah.
ma'am.
In a 7 minutes, when you've done a passage, you can even transfer your answer. You can mark your OMR sheet and then get back to the next passage.
Yes,
Right?
ma'am.
So don't be in a hurry. Make sure you
Yeah.
get your answer correct. Right? Okay. So now keeping that in mind, you can do the next passage.
Yes, ma'am. Echo.
Okay. You want me to restart the
Yeah. ma'am.
timer?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You may begin.
Okay. ma'am. I'm done.
Done?
Yeah.
Okay. You still have about 2.5 minutes.
Now, what was the time you gave me this time?
I gave you 7 minutes.
7 minutes.
So you have completed in about, how much I said? 4.5 minutes.
So, like, ma'am, for
Okay.
this writing and language one, how many paras would be there? Like 2 paras, right?
Writing a language one?
Yeah.
No. What did you ask?
How many like are there from this? Like
How
there are,
many passages? You'll get
yeah,
4 passages.
from this, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
4 passages. There'll be 44 questions. Your time will be 35 minutes.
So
Total
4
time.
parts. So 4 parts. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
ma'am.
if you are taking about 6 minutes per passage, 4 passages is how much then?
24.
24 minutes. That's a good timing.
Okay.
Yeah. So now what you are doing now is you are just answering and say another 1 minute to transfer your answers into the OMR sheet. So a total of about 6
7
to
minutes.
6.5 minutes you will be completing.
Okay.
Right?
Yes. Ma'am.
Okay. So now let's get to the answers. You got your answers correct this time?
Ma'am, I don't know. Maybe.
Maybe. Okay.
Yeah.
So you are a little more careful.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Let's see. Number 23. What's your answer?
Ma'am, placed after the first sentence.
Right, placed after sentence 1. That is correct. So why do you think it should be placed after sentence 1?
Ma'am, it fits there. Like, you know,
fits
it.
there.
Yeah.
So sentence 3 is talking about the newspapers, investigative journal have been hit especially hard, yeah, by the availability of free news. So if you look at the first sentence, there's a decline in print journalism. That is an introductory sentence. Then we come to specific newspapers. And facing a lower print circulation and diminished advertising revenue, many major newspapers reduced or eliminated investigative resources.
Yes.
So this follows from, so this is more or less, you can say this is the cause,
Yeah.
right? So, and because of this happened. So this is the effect. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this cause comes before the effect. So that would be correct. Okay. Number 24.
Option B.
Option B.
B.
Right. So here, what was the problem here?
Ma'am, reporters. Like,
Reporters. So it wouldn't be possessive,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And the only option here was with a colon. Now here a dash can be replaced with a colon,
Yes, ma'am.
right? Okay, number 25.
Ma'am, I think I went here for no change.
You went for no change.
Yeah.
Okay, now here there is a little bit of a usage of the term. If you see, taking on the public interest, investigative journalism involves original, often long form reporting on such topics as this. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, if you say uh, taking on the public interest, that would be wrong, right? You don't take on the public interest.
Yeah.
So, what would your any other option that would go? Taking off from will not be correct. Overtaking is also wrong. So undertaken in. So why did they do this? They did this in public interest.
Yeah.
Yeah. So undertaken in public interest will be the right answer.
Okay, ma'am.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. 26.
Ma'am, deleted the underlined resource.
Deleted. So
Yeah.
why do you think it should be deleted?
Ma'am, it wasn't I don't know. Like, wasn't needed there. Like, there was already there, like, street crime and
So these
wrongdoing.
are all illegal activities they're already talking about. So
Yeah.
this is a general term, and here we are talking about something more specific,
Yes.
right? So we will go with the specific ones. We don't need the general term, so delete it.
Yeah.
Okay, number 27.
Now option C.
Option
C.
C. Okay, yeah. So why do you, what did you find over here?
Ma'am, that it was actually not
Hmm.
good at adding here the
Yeah,
passage.
so first of all, it is the passage paragraph is talking about certain exposures.
Yeah.
Yeah, exposures and the newspaper reports for the exposures. And if you see, it begins with 74, then goes on to 2004. So in 1954, adding it over here doesn't make any sense. So it is, first of all, it is not relevant, and also chronologically it is out of place. So
Yes, ma'am.
chronologically and substantively out of place. Okay, now number 28.
Number 28, I meant deterrent to reverse to.
Deterrent or rebuke to.
Yeah.
So it says, in these and other cases, exposure from reporters has served as an important blockade to the scolding. That is completely off. Doesn't even go, it isn't relevant to the sentence as it is
Yes,
of
ma'am.
malfeasance. So now malfeasance would be misconduct, right?
Okay.
So it is going to, we would rather see that these exposures prevented such misconduct, right? So they were deterrent or rebuke to. Now,
Okay.
if you say scolding, blockade or scolding, now this doesn't go with the tone of the
The
passage as such,
session. Yeah.
right? Now, scolding is a little mild. Blockade, we would have a better word, like it served as a deterrent would be
To.
a better
Yeah.
word.
Yeah.
Okay, number 29.
Ma'am, for 29, I went for will.
Will.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what it says. Which choice most effectively suggests that the end of investigative journalism is a real possibility, but uh, one that can be prevented. Now here it says, while worrisome, the decline of traditional print media could not entail the end of investigative journalism.
Yes, ma'am.
Uh, although many newspapers have reduced their staff, some still employ investigative reporters. Now here it says, what is it trying to tell you? Is a real possibility, but one can be prevented,
It, yeah.
right? Now, will is more definitive,
Okay.
right? So if you substitute will over here, while worrisome, the decline of traditional print media will not entail the end of investigative journalism.
Yeah.
Does it talk about a possibility? Now
Yeah.
here they're saying is a real possibility, not something that is happening
Thing,
or
but
we are
could be
sure
a
about
possible.
it, but
Yeah.
could be, right? So we will
Yes,
go
ma'am.
with need over here. Need not entail.
Okay.
So it may not or need not. Will not will lead to definitive.
Okay.
Yeah. So here we are talking about a possibility. Need not could will bring out that possibility,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. Number 30.
Ma'am, D.
D. Yes, you are correct. Most of the set of examples in the following sentences. Yeah, so it says although many this one, no? Although many
Yes,
news
ma'am.
unions have reduced the staff, some still employ investigative reporters. In recent years, have in witnessed innovative adjustments to changing times. Yeah. So this can come up over here, and then the examples over here.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now 31,
31, no change.
no change. Okay.
Yeah.
So now the sentence given is non-profit enterprises such as, now if you see, you have such as, now you can't use a comma after such as.
No, ma'am.
If there was a comma, there could be before or no comma at all. So
Yeah.
non-profit enterprises such as organized crime and corruption, etc. So now enterprises colon would be wrong. Enterprises such as colon would be wrong. Enterprises comma such as again would be wrong, right?
Oh,
So
yeah.
you will have enterprises such as comma.
Yeah.
Sorry, I said it wrong. Comma
So,
is after
yes,
such
after
as,
such
not
as.
before,
Yeah.
right? So no change. Okay, so this, okay, there are more questions here.
2 more.
Them. Okay, so number 32,
Ma'am, no change.
no change. To help me investigate the help me investigate project, for example.
Yeah.
So comma after, for example, would be correct. Okay, number 33. What is it talking about? It is the structure of the sentence, right?
Yeah.
So,
Ma'am, C, I went for C there, but
okay,
still,
it's not only the structure of the sentence, it is the content of the sentence also over here. If you look at the options.
yeah, that's one.
So, what is it talking about? Far from making the end of investigative journalism, cooperation among journalists and ordinary citizens has been facilitated by the advent of digital age through an increase in the number of potential investigators.
Yeah.
Now, if we look at this, the rest of the paragraph or the rest of the paragraph is talking about what? That newsrooms have reduced the staff, right? And some organizations, enterprises, freelance reporters newly funded by non-profits make use of social media, including blogs, Twitter. Help me investigate project, for example, suggested readers to submit tips. Then
Yes,
here
ma'am.
it says, far from making the end of investigative journalism, cooperation among journalists and ordinary citizens has been facilitated by the advent of digital age through an increase in the number of potential investigators. So it somehow gives us the point, but maybe it could be put in a better way, right?
Yeah.
So let's see. B says number of potential investigators has increased since the advent of digital age. No, that is not real. To the facilitation of. So this is a structural problem over here.
Yeah.
The advent of digital age has increased the number of potential investigators by facilitating cooperation among journalists and ordinary citizens. So keeping the subject, this is reorganizing the sentence structure and making it concise and clear, right?
Yes, ma'am.
By facilitating cooperation among journalists, the ordinary citizens, the advent of digital. So this is also not bringing about clarity.
Yeah.
The number of potential. So C is the only one which brings about clarity and keeps the main focus intact.
Yeah.
Right? So C, your answer is correct. So now I think you've got these type of answers correct.
Yeah, it took me quite a while, but like most of
Yeah,
the time
so
goes on
these
this one
will,
only.
yeah, that's why I said, give a little more time in this.
Yeah.
So the only, I think you got 29 wrong. That
Yeah,
needed a
29 years.
little more of reading the question and understanding the keywords properly,
Yes, ma'am.
right? And what else?
Ma'am,
And I think the rest
27.
you got 27. You got 27. You got correct.
Oh,
You got C as the answer, no?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. What else? did you get wrong? Okay, 25 you got wrong.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah. So that was a little bit about the usage of the phrase.
Yes, ma'am.
So yeah, otherwise you are doing well. No, I think you got 22 also wrong. 22 you said transition point of the paragraph. So these
And
were
22 to 1 was from last passage actually.
22 was last. Okay, yeah, sorry. So here you got just 2 wrong.
Yeah.
And I think at least this
6 wrong, like overall, I think.
yeah. So a little bit now you know where you are going wrong. You know your
Yeah.
mistakes, so
Yes,
you can
ma'am.
work on them anyway, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now coming to session 17.
Ma'am, one more question, like
Yeah.
about that activity list.
Huh?
So like in some activities, like not in some, like in every activity, my word limit is actually exceeding 100 words. So
Doesn't matter. You just put in your details, and I will take care of the word limit.
okay, ma'am.
Right?
Yeah.
So you don't worry about the word limit. You just give your details and the information, and I will rewrite it to make it concise and keep the main points. And in places, if I find that your details are not really appropriate, something else should go in, I'll do that.
And ma'am, about that charity service one, like
Hmm.
I asked my friends about it. They don't know like which foundation it was, but
Hmm.
it was like for old age home.
Okay, so
Now
you
I
can just
remember
write
it.
old age home.
Like for charity for people living in old age home. It was like
Right.
that. So it
You
would be
can write.
fine, right?
Yeah, that will be fine if you don't remember the name.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we still have time.
Yeah.
I think you can do at least one passage of this session 17.
Yes, ma'am.
So are you finding, so now you tell me, what are the problems you are facing now, or are you feeling confident about this portion?
Ma'am, that the grammatical mistakes ones, the big
Hmm.
sentence ones, that one is where I get, a little bit scared and confused a lot of times.
Okay, so the grammatical mistakes, in fact, are the easiest questions to do. You
I'm the
just have
big
to
sentence
remember,
ones. Yeah.
yeah, the sentence combination ones.
Yeah.
Okay, the sentence combination ones, I think you got them right anyway.
Ma'am, but it's a
Yeah,
very much confusing.
it's
Yeah.
confusing. Now there you have to go with the rules are it should be grammatically correct. So any sentence which has a little bit of grammatical mistake, punctuation errors, the clarity is not there, eliminate.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. And then what did you do? You went with the one which was concise and had clarity and was
Okay.
grammatically correct. So these 3 things you have to see: grammatically correct, concise, clarity.
Yeah.
So the focus of the original sentence should not change
Yeah.
when you are combining, and when you are say improving on the sentence, you have to see that the clarity of thought, what is the sentence trying to say. You have to look at the keywords,
Yes, ma'am.
and the keywords should be arranged in such a way that it brings about clarity.
Okay, ma'am.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now this is
17.
yeah, session 17, passage 1.
Yeah.
So I'll time you. I'll again give you how much? I'll give you 6 this time,
Okay, ma'am.
right?
Yeah.
I think you are doing pretty well. You can finish in 6. Okay, you may begin.
Okay. I should begin, right?
Yeah, you can begin.
I'm done.
Done?
Yeah.
Okay, you still have 1 minute, little more than 1 minute. Okay. So I think in 5 minutes you completed.
Yes.
Okay, so now coming to the answers. Let's see. So you got your reasonings correct. Did you find this a little difficult or was it medium?
It was medium, but you know,
Hmm.
one question was a bit too long, so I had to read a
Hmm.
full passage for it.
Right.
At least twice to make
Sometimes
sure I don't.
need to-
Yeah.
Right. So, but still you have completed within time. Okay,
Okay.
now coming to the answers. Let's see, you got them correct. Number 1,
Ma'am, no change.
no change. Right. Because it says the headlines in the New York Times declared, comma, that is correct. So number 2,
Ma'am, option B.
option B.
Yeah.
So what was it trying to say? Widely
They
reported.
reported.
So one newspaper, New York Times, gave this. So other
Yeah.
newspapers. Number 3,
Fearing.
fearing. Yes, correct. Because as many as 12 people fearing that Martians had invaded the Earth,
Yes.
right? So they did something fearing this.
Yeah.
Okay, number 4,
And so far as.
so far as, right? So because you are comparing,
Yeah.
right? Okay. Number 5,
Ma'am, option C maybe.
option C. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why option C? Because it's not talking about time. It's talking about an article before this.
Yes.
Yeah. Jefferson and Foley, both professors, argue that the newspaper industry, etc. Okay. Combining sentence. Number 6.
Ma'am, option D maybe.
Option D.
Yeah.
Okay. Why option? Because if you look at the sentence that is given to you, sentence or the underlined portion. So before this, it says it's a very long sentence, right?
Yeah.
Almost the whole paragraph. At this time, in the article, they argue that the newspaper industry cutting into the newspaper profits, comma, by the newspaper industry tried to do this by portraying.
Okay.
So that is a little bit of a
Extra bit.
extra information. So it is detailed, but just by portraying,
It
now it
would
is
be the
just
same.
giving you what it is doing. So
Yeah.
by portraying the new medium as irresponsible would be correct.
Yes.
So you got this correct. Okay, number 7.
Number 7. Ma'am, option B maybe.
Option B. It
Yeah.
says which establishes the main idea of the paragraph, right?
Yes.
So
ma'am.
what can be added here to give you the idea of the paragraph instead of this? Proof of ulterior motive is scarce, consequently weakening Pulley and scholars' argument.
Yes.
Now here it says, for instance, ratings indicate that this is this, then Pulley and scholar. So the main idea of the paragraph is giving you certain examples or certain evidences. Yeah.
Yes. ma'am.
So proof of ulterior motives is scarce, but evidence does suggest that reports
But
of panic have been overblown.
overblown. Yeah.
That would be correct because the entire paragraph is talking about different instances of how this happened. Okay, number
Yeah.
8. Now, if you see here, we also have a sentence placement question. So
Yes.
this,
ma'am.
when you read this entire, now you can do one thing. When you read a paragraph like this, where you have to read more or less half the paragraph, and there is also a sentence placement question along with it, you can do the sentence placement question right away,
Yes. ma'am.
right? That saves up on time also. Okay, anyway, we'll go with the grammar one first. Number 8.
Ma'am, I went here for no change.
You
No
went
change.
with no change. Yeah. Far fewer than a million people, that would be okay, because it's talking about, it's not giving you exact numbers,
Yeah.
it's talking about more or less than
Yes.
a million people, and far fewer than gives a comparative also.
Yes. ma'am.
Okay, now we come to the sentence placement, right?
Ma'am, this one I think after sentence 7.
After sentence 7.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's talking about sentence 4. Sentence 7 is, furthermore, police caller note that the survey code very frightening disturbance excited by the program that was being panicked, right?
Yeah.
And sentence 4 is, just because some people found the broadcasting unsettling, the authors contended doesn't mean they believed it and reacted with real terror. So this is about the author's contended. The rest of it is about the pulley also call into question. Now the other options are after sentence 2. The sentence 2 is, for instance, if
It's it.
ratings and this, and
Yeah.
then it goes on to pulley and also call into question the validity. So it is the ratings, the validity, we can't push it into this place,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And next option is after sentence 5. Now, sentence 5 is talking about, according to this report, 1 million people were indicated that they had been frightened by the broadcast. Ratings, however, reveal far fewer than a million people had been listening to the broadcast. So, like these two are connected. We can't put it here. Yeah. So
Yeah.
the only place we have is after sentence 7. So even if you eliminate the other options, place it, eliminate, you get your answer. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Number 10,
Ma'am, some.
some. Uh, so, but some influenced by the sensation. Yeah, some being influenced will not really
Yeah.
go. It doesn't sound correct. Okay, which is most of it? Number 11.
Ma'am, here like
Hmm?
not like.
Not like.
Yeah.
Okay. Now this was a little tricky one. So if
Yeah.
you read the sentence, it says, oh, now it says, which choice most effectively signals the comparison the writer is making between the two groups mentioned. Yeah.
Yes. ma'am.
Now it says, the researchers also suggested that not unlike people who got caught up in the excitement of the story when reading about it in the newspaper, the American public may have been willing to embrace the legend because of its appeal to imagination. Now,
Yeah.
we are talking about how the two groups reacted. Yeah, comparison. Now, how did
Yes.
the
ma'am.
first group react? People who got caught up in the excitement of the story when reading about it in the newspaper. So they got caught up in the excitement And if you look at the also suggested that, like, okay, if you look at the previous sentence, it says most people who heard the broadcast understood they were listening to a piece of fiction, but
Yes.
some being influenced, some influenced by the sensational news coverage afterwards, later remembered being more afraid than they had been.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the researchers also suggested that, not unlike people who got caught up in the excitement of the story when reading about it in a newspaper, the American public may have been willing to embrace the legend because of its appeal to
Appeal to
imagination.
imagination.
So if you see, the reaction is more or less the same,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, ma'am.
So would you say not like?
No, ma'am.
Now if you look at this, not unlike.
Yeah.
Not unlike is a double negative.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Not unlike would mean, that would rather mean like.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here they had similar experiences, so they were not unlike.
Yes, ma'am.
So not like would be the opposite of not unlike,
Yes, ma'am.
right? So here your answer would be no change. So this was a
Yeah.
little tricky one. I think so far most students have got it wrong. So you're not the exception,
Okay, ma'am.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now what are you left with? You are left with the rest of the passages of this session
Yeah.
and session 18. This you will be doing for practice.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
now just one little thing in session 17.
Ma'am, with such
Now, okay, in this page 213, I don't know what it is in your book. This would be around session 17, this part
Yeah.
corresponding to question 19. Now, I hope it is Berland in your book.
Yes, ma'am. No, no, ma'am, it's burn.
Burl and separately.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Burland.
you can change it Berland. It would be Berland. Burland. It's one name,
Okay, ma'am.
right?
Yeah.
So all of these Berland, it will be one name. Okay, I think they've given you they've printed the old edition and not got the correction stuff.
Okay,
Okay,
ma'am.
anyway, so I was just checking on this particular one.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
so now
not,
you'll be able to do these. Now you
yes,
know
ma'am.
where you are going wrong,
Yeah.
what is the problem you are facing. So you will be
Yes,
careful
ma'am.
with the reasoning part of it,
Yes.
and you know that you have enough time on hand.
Yeah.
So up to 6 minutes, you are able to finish it. So about
Yes, ma'am.
5.5 minutes, you are able to finish the passage. So you know you can finish the passage in about 6.5 minutes also,
Yes, ma'am.
and you will still have time to go back and revise,
Yeah.
right?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
keeping that in mind, don't hurry through the questions which are a little complicated.
Okay. Yes.
Take your time, and you will still have enough time. So now when you are doing session 18, now in
Yeah.
session 17, you have 2 more passages.
Yeah.
And when you are doing session 18, you can do one thing. Don't go by one passage at a time. Just what you will do is you will put on your stopwatch.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. Do
Yeah.
the entire session 18 and see
Yeah.
how much time you took.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't put in the timer for one passage at a time.
Okay, ma'am.
So in session 18, you have 3 passages.
Yes.
So for 3 passages, you should take about maximum
20.
18 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you take 6 minutes per passage, so it will be about 18 minutes
Yeah.
or a maximum of 20, not more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So about
Yes, ma'am.
in 18 minutes, you should be able to finish this session
ma'am.
18.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you finish, you just put your see how much time it took.
Yeah.
So you will know that, okay, you are able to keep time, and the answers are given at the back. You may compare your answers and see if your answers are correct. And if
Yes.
you get a wrong answer, then you know the explanation is given. So
Yeah.
you will get to know why your answer is wrong.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's it for today.
Yeah.
And you will be taking your mocks. I think you can already start taking your mocks.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. You so in the reading section, how confident are you?
Ma'am, you could say it's like around 50-50.
50-50.
Yeah.
And in the writing and language, how much do you think?
I think 80-20. That this one is like
80-20.
way better.
Okay, fine. So you do this, you practice this, and then by that time, I think by next week, I think reading will be better.
Okay. Yeah.
And reading needs a lot of practice
Okay. Yeah.
because you know that where you go wrong, understanding becomes a little problem. So you have to understand the question and the keywords in the answers.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? And the
Yeah.
context is very important. In this, the context is important in some questions,
Yeah.
but in the reading section, context is important in all questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. ma'am.
So you practice enough, and I think Jane is solving your doubts also.
Yes, ma'am.
So no problem about that.
Yeah.
So I think by the by the end of next week, you should be start taking your mocks.
Yeah. Ma'am,
Right?
after my maths would be completed after that, I'll take like one chapter is still remaining for maths.
Okay, one chapter is still remaining. Fine.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
yeah, and whatever is pending in this, complete it. And
Okay,
yeah,
ma'am.
and don't forget to mark your time.
Yes, ma'am. And like if it would be any doubts, so I could ask you on WhatsApp,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Okay,
sure.
ma'am.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes,
Okay
ma'am.
then.
And ma'am, if I would have like I do practice from outside, like from other
Hmm.
SAT passages. So if I ask doubt for that, would it be
Yeah,
fine,
of
right?
course. Yeah, sure.
Okay, ma'am.
The more you practice, the better.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is actually whatever is here is more or less okay, but of course you need extra practice.
Yes, ma'am.
So whatever material you get, practice from there.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
have my phone number?
Yes, ma'am, I have it.
Okay, fine. So you can message me whatever or whatever doubts you have,
Yeah.
and we will. And anyway, after 2 mocks, we will have a doubt solving session also to see
Okay, ma'am.
how you are doing and where you need to improve further.
Okay, ma'am.
So I think you will be doing well.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay then. So any doubts, you can always message me, and
Yes,
we
ma'am.
can clear your doubts. We can
Okay.
even talk on the phone if you want.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay then. Good night.
Good
All
night,
the
ma'am.
best.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye, ma'am.
Bye. Thank you, Meena ma'am.